Hey there. Today we're doing the response. This is my son Matt.
You should recognize me if you've seen the other videos.
Yep, if you've watched, if you're a newcomer, this is my son Matt.
Yeah.
In the hat. And I like that. Okay, that's a lame way to start, but here we go. Asian horror. Psychotronic broadcast did a video talking about Asian horror, and he did some great stuff. Some of it I thought was a little mainstream, but some of the stuff is going to be kind of like mainstream too. But the whole idea here is that we're a horror community, and we want to be giving each other ideas on cool stuff we can watch that we haven't seen, or maybe you have seen, or you've seen around somewhere and you didn't quite watch, or you kind of watched it, or kind of watched you, and you looked at it and you said, hey man, maybe I should watch it back. So, Asian horror. Throw a name out there.
Give me a name. Let me think. I'm gonna say Death Bell, because I think we've both seen that one.
Death Bell?
Yeah.
Which one saw that one? Yeah.
We saw it this year, actually? This year for October. Well, last October. It was the Korean one about, essentially, a group of students that are in, like, advanced classes and are, like, doing this big thing over the summer. And then all get locked in their school. And they start being picked off in these, kind of like the Saw. It's like a really cool version of the Saw. They're like in, they're in the advanced class. Yeah. They're in the advanced class, and someone's got it out for them. So they'll go missing slowly, and they'll get a video feed on these like overhead things.
So this is like a slasher one, right?
It is, but it's weird. There's a lot of slasher elements, but there's also like
it's hard to believe
the Saw thing, because they'll see them and they'll have to solve a fairly big problem that's like clues towards why they're being taken.
So they're in a school, and it's like, would you like to play a game?
A lot of these are going to be based around schools, because one of the wonderful things about
Asian horror movies
is schools.
Schools or teenage girls.
Really teenage girls.
Yeah. And it's like. So, our first recommendation is Death Bell. So, Psychotronic broadcast. If you haven't seen Death Bell, it's definitely one to check out.
I'm not sure about Death Bell 2. I haven't seen it.
Okay, well, we haven't seen Death Bell 2 yet, but we've seen the first one. But if you like the first one, hey, when I watched Fitville, loved it. I watched Fitville 2, even better. So, then I watched Part 3, and it was... Hey, Part 2 was great.
I didn't see Part 2 yet. I'm guessing it's bad.
It's not that bad. We'll watch it. But my choice, my turn,
all right.
my only turn.
What is it? Yeah.
I'm picking the 1977 fantasy horror classic House. Basically, if you've never seen the movie, you really should. It's a Criterion movie, and
something.
It's different.
I love the cover.
It was an ad. Oh, the cover's awesome. But there was an ad. It was an ad director, a guy that did a lot of ads, in Japan, and he was like pretty famous. So around that time, Jaws came out, and they were like, "Well, we need a movie like Jaws." I was about to do like a kind of a Japanese style voice, then I realized, God no, singing and impressions, I don't do them here. So anyway. So he said, make us a movie like Jaws. So he made them a horror movie, nothing like Jaws. It has no sharks. It has to have 7 girls that are named after what they're like. Named after like what they're like. If she's Shy Girl or something like that, they all have different kind of names. They all are ones that get killed off in this house. She goes to her aunt's house, and they get killed off in all these weird, wacky type of fantasy, freaky ways. And the rooms that they get killed off in, they're usually wearing the color. Like a pastel color, and the room is that color. So you may not want to go on. If you're a red-shirted guy in Star Trek or in this movie, you don't want to go in the red room. Yeah. But nobody wants to go in the red room. The red room's always bad in movies. Twin Peaks, red room. Don't want to go there. You'd be hitting your head against. I will be right back, because I have a cat that is making me very angry. Can you do it, Cass?
Yeah. Cassie, deal with cat problem. So next one, or by the way, don't go watch the. I was gonna say go watch the trailer, but don't go watch the trailer, because if you just see the movie instead, it's probably better, because you won't know what to expect. I saw the trailer a few minutes ago, just for fun, and it
We'll be right
Let's go.
back.
Yes, we will. Just a second, technical thing.
Hey there. Now that was almost a catastrophe.
Oh, good.
It's funny.
That's
Very funny.
That's how we're gonna.
That's how we're rolling
come
tonight.
back from the cut. That's
yes.
great.
Well, my cat goes and almost gets himself killed by jumping out the window. So yeah, we got to do something to lighten the mood. He's okay. Yeah, he's okay for now.
All right.
But no, yeah, I'm a softy when it comes to the kitty cats.
All right.
So you say don't even watch the trailer, just go
I
by
saw
the movie?
it and I was like, oh God, what is this? If you watch the movie, I'm sure that it's just going to be. If you don't plan on watching the movie, watch the trailer because then you plan on watching the movie. But if you want to watch the movie, just go ahead and watch it because
It's
the
very
trailer just shows so many things that are completely disjointed and insane. That watching the movie, I think it'd be better to see to experience those really weird situations.
Yeah,
right
because
after that.
let's be honest. Well, even when you watch the movie, it will be disjointed and insane, but it will be disjointed and insane in a fashion that may seem a little bit less disjointed and insane than the trailer.
Yeah. Also, with trailers, you see something, you'll be like, oh, okay, they're in this room. This is gonna happen.
Exactly.
Like as we know, the whole matching color room thing.
Yeah.
You don't know what'll happen.
Unless I
in that
threw you
room.
off.
Yeah, but okay.
Your next choice.
My next choice. What was it again? Oh God. I'm gonna say goth, and this one's weird to say. It might not be for everyone. I liked it. It's about two kids. Essentially, they're in like high school, maybe middle school, and stuff like that. And one of them is this like really quiet, dark goth girl, and one of them is this really, pretty much like very popular, sports-oriented guy, and they're both secretly goths and such, and they're both like really into death. And there's this serial killer who's going around, and what he does is he kills people and poses their body in lifelike situations, which is kind of cool. And they are essentially, being a big fan of this stuff, go after him, and they bond over the time. There's just a bit of a small twist, and it's pretty decent. It's very good. I like it. It might not be for everyone because
That is.
But
it's
it's
fun
cool.
and it's pretty straightforward too.
Yeah.
It's a good introduction one as well.
Yeah, it is.
Did you watch the Hansel and Gretel? Was it Hansel and Gretel?
Actually, no. I might be
Okay.
watching that this weekend.
Okay.
My friends come over.
My next choice is I don't know the Japanese name. You might know it. Spiral.
Spiral. Uzumaki.
Uzumaki. Awesome. Uzumaki. That's a manga as well. Trippy, fun, cool ass manga. When I went to Ottawa first, I went to this comic shop and they were selling off a bunch of like mangas for like 25 cents each. So, being the just getting there, kind of poor, only had a few bucks in my pocket. Got to the comic shop, saw a lot of stuff I wanted. Then I saw the cheap bin, and I bought a bunch of these things. So I started reading the stories in them. But Uzumaki was the one I used to keep going back to. I used to go flip through to get to it, get to the chapter and that, and then I showed it to him.
Yeah.
And you were like, what, 13 at the time?
Yeah.
So I'm scarring him. And basically,
Considering
scarring him for life.
Considering what the spiral is at the end, and then the
Here,
other... Because Spiral... It's not a direct story. It's kind of an anthology.
Yeah.
All based around the spiral that affects the town in different ways. Some being very direct, like a man essentially contorting into a spiral.
Yeah.
And others being people turning into giant snails.
Yes, it's a very trippy movie. The manga's really great. I really recommend you watch that. You read that as well. But that's my next choice. Do you have another choice? Is it about
do.
stairs? Is it about stairs?
Yeah, actually, it'll be about stairs. See, I watched, because there's another one too, but I watched Wishing Stairs.
Wishing
and I have
Stairs.
Wishing Stairs, and it's right here, actually. This is one of the only ones we can show off. Wishing Stairs.
It's part of a trilogy.
It is. Well, technically,
Part of 5.
it's part of a series because Tartan Age Extreme put out
3 of them.
3 of them, but there's actually 5 of them.
This scene is not in the film.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's nowhere in the film. The Whispering, it's the Whispering Corridors
Girls are cute
series,
too.
essentially. Oh, they are. I love Kim So-hee, the character in that. It's the Whispering Corridors theory. Essentially, to explain, this is a weird thing to get into, but the series isn't really a series. It's not even made by the same director or anything. There's not even, I think there's maybe one or two characters that follow over, but they're not characters. They're just actors who are doing the same thing. The only connection actually is between Wishing Stairs and one called Voices. The thing was, in Korea at the time, it was right after essentially the Korean film liberation, where films they didn't have as much of like they weren't as censored.
This sounds like an interesting story. So what we're going to do, we're going to stop right here, because we are going to do a part 2 to this.
Alright. Because...
And you are going to find out about the Korean...
Korean, essentially, liberation of films, which is...
And you want to stay tuned for that. Trust me.
Yeah.
To be continued.
Because I have several other things to talk about on there. As well as a final film.
A final film?
Yeah. It's one I watched that is really good. Also, anything I can think of in between this break.
Okay, here we go.